Hey everyone, I'm Olivia Flanagan, your gender affirming voice teacher, and today I'm going to talk about vocal fold mass. I'm going to explain what it is and how you can change the weight of your voice to get a lighter, more feminine vocal quality. When a person goes through a testosterone puberty, it affects the voice in a couple different ways. First, it changes the size and shape of the vocal tract, and this includes the increase in size of the larynx, which is the cartilage structure that houses the vocal folds. And because of this increase in the amount of space in the larynx and in the rest of the vocal tract, it results in a darker resonance. And if you're interested in learning more about the vocal tract or about resonance, I've linked my videos on both topics down below in the description. Testosterone also affects the vocal folds themselves. It causes them to grow longer and thicker. So the length of the vocal folds affects the pitch. With a longer vocal fold, we get a lowering of the pitch. And with a thicker vocal fold, we get a heavier, more compressed, buzzy sound. So we've got these three things. We've got the dark resonance from the larger vocal tract, the lower pitch from the longer vocal folds, and this heavier sounding vocal quality from the thickening of the vocal folds. All of these things are results of testosterone and are characteristics of a stereotypical masculine perceived voice. In this video, I'm going to be addressing that thickness of the vocal folds, and I'm going to show you some ways that you can feminize your voice by getting a lighter, thinner vocal quality. First, I'm going to demonstrate the difference between a thick and a thin sound so you can have a sense of what on earth I'm talking about. So here's a thick sound, ah, ah, and a thin, ah, ah, thick, ah, ah, thin, ah, ah. Our vocal folds are two bands of tissue that vibrate together to create sound. And the ideal for a healthy voice is that we do get total closure each time we vibrate or with each cycle. When we get a thicker sound, what's happening is that there's more engagement from the vocal folds themselves and there's more closure happening. If our vocal folds are not closing all the way when we phonate or when we make a sound, we're going to get a breathy vocal quality. It sounds something like ha, ha. So this is not what I mean when I say a thin sound. For a thin sound, we are still going to have total vocal fold closure. It's still going to be a healthy voice. But we aren't going to have the extra engagement from the vocal folds, and there's not going to be that added pressure that we have with a thick sound. So I'm going to show you those three different sounds and see if you can play along with me and notice the difference in your voice. Ah, thick. Ah, thin. Ah, breathy. So let's try that again. Ah, ah, ha. You may have noticed that you're starting these different vocal qualities a little bit differently with each one. So what we call that is the onset or the beginning of the sound quality. So when we go for that thick sound, what we're getting is a glottal onset. So what that means is our vocal folds are completely closed. So the glottis is the space in between the vocal folds. So a glottal onset. So they're completely pressed together, and then when we start making a sound, they pop open like this. So one way you can get this feeling in your voice is if you lift something heavy, you're getting total closure in your vocal folds. So we get this ah, 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 ah sound. Ah, ah. So that's a glottal onset. For a breathy onset, what's happening is your vocal folds are totally open. So there's air coming through already before your vocal folds start making a sound. So, ha, ha. And for our thin sound, we want a balanced onset. So somewhere in the middle between those two. It's not totally open, not totally closed. Ah, ah. So if you're having trouble with making these different sounds, try thinking about your onset or how you're starting, and that might help to get the sound you're looking for. Okay, so now we're going to try a couple exercises to find a thin sound. So first one we're going to do is a slide. So we're going to slide from a low pitch, any low pitch, up to a high pitch, and we're going to go from thick down low to thin up high. So it'll sound like this. Ah, ah. Okay. Now the next one we're going to try is sliding from low to high, thick to thin, just like we did, but we're going to descend again, keeping that sound in the thick place, even though we're going down in pitch. Ah, ah, ah. Let's try that again. Ah, and here I am talking with my thin sound. Another one you can try is saying, ah, ah, like you're looking at a cute kitten. Oh, this is a really thin sound as I'm looking at this kitten. The last one you can try is a yawn. Oh, oh, I really gotta get to bed. And I've got such a thin sound, but I can get right to bed. So give these 3 exercises a try. I hope this video has been helpful for you and you've been able to find a thinner sound. Let me know how it's going for you down in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.